I don't think I let myself heal a lot, and which led to other injuries. It was like a domino effect. Like when one happened, it was a chain reaction. I should have just slowed down a little bit, but I have one speed. It's all gas, no brakes.
The stories align. 1 degree of separation. Who's the next? You'll know in time.
Welcome to the third episode of the 1 Degree of Separation podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Murphy. This is the podcast that proves the theory of 6 degrees of separation and explores how we're all connected. Each season, I'll begin with one fascinating guest from my personal contacts, who after their interview will recommend someone from their own contact list. This creates a chain of connections and incredible stories. Follow along on your favorite podcast platform and on social media at 1 Degree Pod. Today, we've got a guest who has been a competitive powerlifter for over 3 decades and owns his own gym in Illinois. He was referred to me by my episode 2 guest, Buddy Hull. Please give a warm welcome to Michael Moore. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. I really appreciate it.
So tell me, for our listeners who aren't familiar with what powerlifting is, kind of give me a rundown of what exactly it is and how you got started.
Powerlifting is squat, bench, and deadlift. Competition-wise, you have 3 attempts at squat, 3 attempts at bench and deadlifts, and your best out of those 3 will go towards your total. And you compete in age and weight. I got involved when I was 14 years old in 1996. My dad worked with a top 3 guy in the world in powerlifting, and he got me into it just to get stronger for football, and then suggested I jump in a competition, and that's how it all began.
Nice. So you played football as well then?
I played football in high school.
Okay. All right.
But which, because of powerlifting, I ended up competing in bodybuilding. I've done a lot of other stuff, but I've always been a powerlifter first.
Nice. Nice. So tell me a little bit about your most memorable competition or most memorable lift.
I'll be honest with you, my most memorable one was probably the first time I competed this year. I did the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio in 2025 in March. And I'm almost 44 years old, so I still put up good numbers. I'm even getting some PRs, but I'll be honest, I probably never said this out loud. I'm not as strong as I used to be, but I rely a lot on more technique and preparation, and I was able to win the Arnold Classic in March. My 3 sons were able to come with me, and I had my wife there, and and my best friend came. It was just cool. I was able to put together something when I knew I wasn't as strong as I was, but I had a really good day. And
Nice.
so it was, that was probably my most memorable for sure.
Now tell me about the Arnold Classic. Where is that? What is that?
That's in Columbus, Ohio. It's actually the biggest sports convention in the world. And I competed in there in 2015, and I went into that competition. I had been done really well leading up to it, won nationals, and I ended up getting hurt about 8 weeks out. So, and people had given me money, just to help me out to get out there, and it's very expensive. And well, a lot of the money they gave me, I had used for rent, food. So I felt like I still had to compete. So I competed injured and only got 6th. And it was just it really bothered me. For one, I've hardly ever lost, but, and I never thought I'd get to go back. And I just went back in March, and I did really well. So,
awesome. Sounds like a great accomplishment. Congrats.
No, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges you faced in your powerlifting career and how did you overcome them?
As far as like a actual challenge in competition, I've torn my quad slightly in a warm-up room I was about at 700 on warm-up. Well, I went ahead and competed and finished the meet, and I ended up squatting 903 on a torn quad, which nobody will believe, but I mean, I was on crutches, and that was probably like mentally, when I hit the hole on second attempt with 903, I could feel my quad kind of just rippling more. And I shot out of the hole. I mean, I ended up having a good day. I took second. So that was huge. As far as my personal life, besides running the gym, I have another full time job. I do HVAC. So, and I'm um, a husband and a father. So balancing my kids, you know, everything is on scheduling. So I have to be on point with that. So I'm not affecting their lives too. So
Yeah. And I imagine that when you tore your quad, you probably had people around you saying, "You can't do this. You can't keep competing."
yeah, I mean, some guys, I think a couple of guys on the team are like, man, you're just going to have to hang it up. But again, for me to be able to, this was in Ohio as well. It was a West Side Barbell meet, which West Side Barbell is probably the greatest gym that's ever, powerlifting wise. It's the best gym ever. And it was a big opportunity for me to be out there. And I sucked it up. I mean, um, I say I was on crutches for 3 weeks after it. But when I deadlifted in the meet, I deadlifted 745, and I was my second attempt, and I passed on the third, but I kind of had to shift my weight really hard to one leg. I actually don't even remember which quad it was at this point. I've had multiple injuries, but um, and I pulled it. I pulled a PR on that too. So
Wow. Wow. That's impressive. Setting a record even with a torn quad.
I, what if you really want to do something, it's kind of amazing what you can push past. So I mean, I was locked in.
What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out in powerlifting?
Um, be patient, go light, really work your form. I mean, technique is everything. Um, and it's a slow progression. I mean, don't get too caught up in what, I mean, the big difference for me now from my younger days to the new guys is social media. I mean, um, don't compare yourself too much. Just look at your own numbers and follow the plan that your coach has laid out. It's kind of more of a marathon, not a sprint. Just take your time. You're not going to do it all in 1 year.
Yeah, that's great advice. Now you mentioned social media. Is social media more of just a inner community between powerlifters, or are you trying to gain followers as well? How does that work?
It's different. I mean, I guess I would be called more of like one of the old heads now, but I mean, the social media is pretty big with it now, it seems. You know, I just post training videos. I have a lot of followers. I would say probably on some of the platforms, but that's just, I think, because I've been around a long time. I mean, I've been consistently putting up numbers, and in powerlifting, you have different divisions of competitively. You have raw divisions, single ply, multiply, unlimited, and I can have competed in all of them from 198 to 308. So I think I've gained a lot of followers just going to competitions, and the power of the community as a whole is pretty supportive. So if you're sitting next to a guy in a warm up room, you end up talking to him and you add him on social media, and it just, that's one way it grows.
So beyond the competition aspect, there's a lot of friendship and encouragement along the way
Huge.
as well.
Like I say, I've competed in bodybuilding as well, and I have good friends in that sport. But the powerlifting, there's a bond there. I mean, if I compete against a guy, I want him to be his best, you know. And I think you'll definitely get that vibe in the warm up room. You know what I mean? I've competed in worlds twice, all over the country, and it doesn't matter. Everybody's pretty supportive in that sport.
And you competed a little bit with our previous guest, Buddy Hull. Tell me a little bit about him. Tell us a story about him.
Well, Buddy and I come from the same fraternity of it's Pool's Gym, like I said, where I started. Um, and I look at out of that Pool's Gym fraternity, Doug Pool, who was top 3 in the world for over a decade. I mean, he's to this day he still coaches me. I've a lot of respect for that man. Buddy, out of the group was the strongest bencher for sure. I mean, he was 700 shirt bencher, 500 raw bencher. And then Buddy's just very good at keeping the community together. And, we haven't done a lot together in over a decade, but he always keeps in touch. He still supports us, even though he's a professional drag racer now. He's just successful. I mean, I think Buddy's attitude in the powerlifting world directly, he took that to his business and his racing. I mean, he's super successful. So, I
Nice.
mean,
Yeah, we had some conversations too about powerlifting with Buddy as well, and he talked about like how you guys would sometimes get kicked out of buffets. Do you remember
Yeah.
those times?
Yeah. I mean, and the old school way is just dirty bulking. We just ate as much as we could. We looked like bloated pigs, and it worked. I don't know if it was the healthiest way to go about things, but yeah, we would hurt a buffet, no
Very
doubt.
nice. So now you also own your own gym, Midwest Iron. What inspired you to
Yes.
open that?
Well, it was just Pool's Gym is an hour commute for me to go to, and my dad actually helped me open up the original Midwest Iron, and it was just more of a just all the travel. I mean, I still go to Pool's Gym to this day and train, but that was the main reason. And then, I've tried to carry on all the things that Doug has taught me, stuff I learned from Buddy. We're a big fraternity to Midwest Iron. My dad actually sold the gym, and I kept the name. And I went from basements to garages, and I've been in two commercial facilities the last 15 years. Um, you know, you would have to just walk in my gym to get a sense of what it's about. I mean, I just left. Sunday is squat and deadlift day at Midwest Iron. Well, I have 20 lifters that are all competitors just alone in that gym. And there's only 55 members, and there's probably about 15 competitive bodybuilders. And I'm for any type of health and fitness. I mean, if you're working out and if you're moving, that's great. But if you walk into a gym where you have 10 people that are absolutely trying to be their absolute best at a sport, the intensity is a little different. Even if you're just walking in wanting to get healthy, which is great, you're going to try a little harder. I mean, it's a totally different environment, and it's just what I was taught when I was younger by Doug, and I've been carrying it on. And I don't want to go without mentioning him as TC Roche of Roche's Gym as another branch off Pool's Gym. He's kind of been a mentor quite a bit in my life as well. So he's probably the
Nice.
best deadlifter that ever came out of our group. So,
Nice. So now are there other similar gyms in your area? Do you compete with, or how does that work?
um, there is one good upcoming gym right now in Carlinville, Illinois. It's called MST. It's owned by Blake McCormick. He's got a good crew down there. Chicago has always had big crews. France Gym was huge. Team Lillibridge. As of late, when we go to a meet, though, we usually take over. I mean, when you're bringing in 15 to 20 competitors, and all of our guys are sharp, and girls, we have a female that's won an Arnold Classic here recently. She just won Best Lifter this last weekend. Um, the girls and the guys are strong on our team. So
If I'm understanding this correctly, the people that train at your gym are essentially your team that you compete with and that compete for you, correct?
correct. And I mean, some of us compete against each other, so the training environment's it's aggressive. I mean, you might have a guy in your weight class that you're loading for and going to follow in the line. We have a group of teenagers and 20-year-olds that are all right around the same age and weight right now. So I mean, it's fun.
Nice.
So
And so are there different classifications for different age groups, weight ranges? How does that work?
sure. So when I started in a 13 to 15-year-old age group. And then it goes 16 to 17, 18 to 19, 20, 23, and anything between 24 and 35, you're open class. So I am a master lifter now, but I can still compete in open too, which I usually cross over. So I will compete against the guys that are 40 to 44, and also I'll jump in the open class as well. And then, like I say, weight classes go from all the way from 132 in increments, 148, 165, 181, all the way to 308. And I started in the 198s.
What's your philosophy when it comes to training people at your gym?
We stress technique. I mean, it's strength's going to come. We preach proper technique, and we usually get people lifting 3 days a week, solid. Like if I have a newbie come in, it's kind of like a snowball effect. So we get them hooked on that, they get solid, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about nutrition and your other life habits, because a lot of what you do outside of the gym decides what happens as far as success in the gym, and it just all snowballs from there. And it's a positive environment too. It's competitive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's like any locker room setting. I mean, you get a bunch of guys and girls that are competitive. There's a lot of trash talking sometimes, but if you're not getting trash talked to, you're probably not doing very well. You know,
So, in addition to the training and lifting aspect of it, there's a lot of lifestyle changes as well.
Well, I mean, the most anabolic thing you can do as far as a lifter is sleep, proper sleep. Your 7 to 8 hours. Um, I'll be honest with you, if it's a person that's like a big partier or something like that, I'm not going to waste too much time on them because they're wasting my time. If you're big on booze or any of that kind of stuff, it doesn't mix. So you need to live a pretty clean lifestyle. Proper nutrition. I mean, all that stuff plays a hand 100%. And a lot of the old school powerlifters probably didn't know a lot of that stuff back in the day, like why we were smashing buffets or, a lot of the old school powerlifters like to drink beer, well, I've never got into that. And I think that's one of the reasons why I've had such long longevity. It does help me as well. And I have to mention her is my wife is a competitor over 10 years and she's actually tried for a pro card twice in bodybuilding. So my life's pretty structured with that. And I do have it easy. She preps a lot of my meals and, you know, my biggest success is with her by my side. So,
Awesome. So, what are some of the biggest rewards and challenges of being a gym owner?
um, the challenge for me is I have a full-time job besides that I work 40 to 50 hours a week. There's always a balance there and my kids are in sports. As far as the gym itself, I mean, I only allow 55 members in, so it's kind of everybody polices their own, you know. There's always one or two issues, but it's a very small percentage with the way I have it set up. The rewards are huge because if you put the time in and you show up consistently and you're doing the correct things outside of the gym, you're going to get better. And if you have an environment where everybody's getting better, you have no choice but to get better. We're all, you know what I mean? We're all going to be at our best.
Yeah.
So,
So it's definitely a very very community oriented gym.
oh, 100%. I mean, I kind of like if I get a newbie in, I'll straight tell them if they're nervous. I'm like, hey, listen, everybody in here started at a certain point. Um, in 6 months, you're going to have this down, and I may be in here with another guy or a girl, and I'm showing them what to do. And if I'm not here, and if they have a question, I'll expect you to help them. We'll just pass it on. And it's worked. It works. It's worked for a long time. So,
And what are some of your future plans for the gym?
uh, well, like I say, I'm almost 44 years old. I know I don't have a ton of time left competing, but I have been getting a lot more enjoyment out of helping people. So, I mean, I'm going to keep building this powerlifting team. I'm going to keep training with them. I'm going to keep supporting the bodybuilders that are there. It's probably not ever, it's never going to be anything lucrative financially for me, but I'll be honest with you, I don't care. My whole life has been this and I enjoy being around people. I mean, that are into what I do. I've taught some kids some stuff, and 5 years later now I'm learning stuff from them at times. They've taken it to a high level. So we're just going to keep doing what we've been doing for the last since 1997, basically.
And so now, how does you've been powerlifting, you said, for about 3 decades, or how long have you been doing it?
Well, in 2026 will be 30 years.
30 years. Okay. So nearly 3 decades. How does that influence how you train people at your gym, your experience level?
I mean, there's not a scenario where I've seen. I mean, I've seen guys come in and say they want to be a powerlifter, or they just want to get in shape. I mean, and they have a lot of issues. I mean, whether it be alcohol, drugs. I have one guy who said he wanted to be a powerlifter, man, and I was like, "Whew, you got a lot of work to do, dude." And he's a national level lifter now. I mean, I would never have expected it, but it was just the environment we put him in. He was able to channel all that stuff, the good and the bad that he was doing. And if you follow the program, it's going to work. It really just comes down to hard work. And a lot of people nowadays, they just showing up is part of the problem. So just show up.
Do you see a connection then between the discipline of powerlifting and the dedication required to run your business as well?
I think it's hand in hand. I mean, um, I feel like the Midwest Iron name and myself and my lifters and my wife, we kind of sell that gym just by the way we carry ourselves. I mean, go on a Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock and watch the people that walk out of my gym and see what you think and tell me if you're going to want to be a part of that. They're all in shape. They look good and And what I've learned in the sport of any iron sport, the people that have really done well, they're going to be the first ones to help you. So my gym and my people and myself, we've that's what sells it. I mean, the proofs on the platform and the bodybuilding stage, you know.
Yeah, the proof is in the results.
Yeah, exactly.
So give me an idea of what your typical day is like. Do you train 5 days a week, all day long? How does that work?
Um, so I can tell you exactly. Tuesday is like an accessory day. Everything we do is built around the squat, bench, and the deadlift. Um, I have not been on it as much lately, but we do GPP with our powerlifting, which is sled pulls, uh, wheelbarrow, farmer carries, general physical preparation. I mean, so I'm in my work capacity is good. I'm in shape. So I'm like ideally a Monday and a Friday. Thursday is our heavy bench night. There's about 15 lifters on that. And actually at my gym, I have two groups of bench now. I have a Tuesday night and a Thursday night. And one of my other veteran lifters kind of runs the Tuesday group. Um, and then Saturday's usually off. I mean, I might be popping in all the time. For me, I mean, I'm down at the gym to check the garbage every day, my wife or I, or something. And then Sunday is our biggest training day. I mean, it is like walking into a competition on Sunday morning because you got 20 lifters. We started the first person is up at 9:30, so people are usually showing about 8:30 to start to warm up, and we get done from anywhere depending on where we are in our pendulum waves from 12 to 1. But yeah, I mean, and if somebody can't make a Sunday workout because something came up with their family, we'll splinter off, and some of the guys and girls will come in on a Monday night and spot them just to make sure they get their lift in.
So there's a lot of time that's put into it. What are some common misconceptions people have about powerlifting or gym ownership?
About powerlifting thing, it's just like I think they see it more of a like a meathead thing of just grabbing heavy weight, and actually it's super scientific. I mean, everything's done on percentages, and we call them pendulum waves. We train a certain variable for 3 weeks, and then fourth week we do a dynamic speed day, and everything's mapped. So there is a lot more science behind it, and it's not just maxing out. As far as a gym ownership, um, you know, I'm probably not the best person to ask about that because I don't count on my gym financially. So I have to have enough money in there to keep the doors open and pay the utilities. So, if I really hustle on personal training, I can make some extra money. But the gym is as busy as I want it to be, as much time as I can be involved with it. Um, and like I say, there's guys that have been with me for 20 years competing. So there's a lot of knowledge there. Like I'm not the only one anymore. I mean, everybody's a coach in that room this morning that I just left, you know.
So what would you say is the combined experience of the trainers on your staff?
Oh, you know, with myself and right now, most of our top guys, let's see, 40, we got 50 years of competitiveness easily, you know, with some of my guys. I mean, um, my two sons compete as well. So, they've grown up in that gym. I have a son that holds records in two weight classes, and the 165 and 181s. He's a freshman in high school, and then my older boy actually holds a couple records as well, but he's a junior in high school. But he's in football season right now, so he's not powerlifting right now. Um,
You mentioned training some very younger people. If you could go back to and talk to yourself at that age, what advice would you give yourself?
I mean, I've being patient is probably not one of my virtues. So, but in the same, being aggressive has also helped me with a lot of things in life. And I would probably been a little more patient about things. Like I said, what I was just telling you, Doug Poole called it working your groove. Perfecting your form. So I would probably be a little more patient. And then I was in it for probably, I think I was 31 the first time I ever tore something. I tore my bicep, and I was bulletproof for 17 years. And I it was 2 or 3 meets a year. Everything I did was based around, well, how many weeks out am I out for this next competition? So I don't think I let myself heal a lot. And which led to other injuries. It was like a domino effect. Like when one happened, it just like it was a chain reaction. I should have just slowed down a little bit, but I have one speed. It's all gas, no brakes.
So you feel like at times you pushed yourself too hard.
But yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, what makes you good is what makes you bad, and I still have problems with that at times. But I think what is helping me a little bit is I'm seeing the success of these other people, and I'm involved with it, or just being in the room. I get a little bit of a fix out of that, I guess. So,
If people want to find out more about powerlifting or you and your gym, where can they look online?
we're on Instagram. It's at MWI_97, and then we're all over Facebook. Just Google Midwest Iron.
Nice. Well, awesome. Thank you, Michael, and thank you everyone for listening. Check out episode 4 next Tuesday to discover who the next link in the chain is. And be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Music, and follow us on social media at One Degree Pod. Have a great day. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks for your time, Ryan. I really appreciate it.